these unorthodox picks. But into game 3, you have to make sure 2 things. Game 1's mistake in the 10th minute mark don't reoccur. Game 2's mistake on the draft don't reoccur as well. So it gives you a much more comfortable position going to game 3, realizing your mistakes from past.
I agree with you, man. Like, if they can completely understand their mistakes right now, they could be able just to come up with something in there. There were some little sparks of good performances right over there during the game. If one of those sparks can actually just catch up into a fire, then Non-Team Red Force could actually be able to take things for themselves. What they need is just to keep trying. They need to keep trying with this, probably with a completely different draft, going into something a little bit more traditional. I don't like a lot the way that Haku is playing today. So most likely I would just completely try to make the team roll around a different player. Do they have any other player that they could actually roll around?
I think so far in the draft that we've seen from game 1 and game 2 actually is very series-centric. First,
only 2 victories from the blue side and 7 victories from the red side.
I think
complete red domination right now at this moment.
I think the draft pattern so far that I've been seeing is that blue side, there's only a few first picks they can actually go for. Things like the Thalia, so you can play the Yang Jian. Things like the Pei to play around the strong tempo. Things like the Long, so you can adjust between the 2 builds that you're playing, the Crit build or the Frostgar build. But then the red side offers so much value. The moment someone picks something like Thalia, you get to steal away things like the Pei, you get to steal away things like the Yang Jian, Yu Huan. So for me, after observing day 1, red side seems to have a lot of value so far.
Well, that is something that, lucky for the teams that have not yet started playing, they will be able to analyze. Maybe it's just because of the way that this patch is designed, the red side actually has a lot more of a challenge. No, a lot more of an advantage because they can actually counter. Maybe the counter is going to be the whole trend in this new patch for this guy as well.
Yeah, that could be the case, right? And already a first pick Consort U coming in from the side of Non-Team Red Force. Not what we usually see in broad daylight. So that's an interesting one, considering the fact that there's still things like the Chano available, there's still things like the Diren J available, so that's definitely potentially a comfort pick coming in from Siri and Non-Team Red Force coaching staff.
I did not even imagine that Consort U was going to show up in KIS4 in terms of how the patch works after the redesignings and everything for this patch. Consort U was clearly the stats are dropped a little bit, and there are other options over there for marksmen that are a lot more meta at this moment. So I did not actually expect Consort U coming in here.
I have to fully agree with you. I was the one that's not expecting this as well, but based on Non-Team Red Force pick and bans thus far, it's looking pretty decent, I would say. You have the Consort U to negate the late game potential coming in from Lampong's early, to also man mark against Baal's Martial Monk, which is the Dharma engages here. So that's actually a pretty decent pick. All they need to do in this second phase is to ban away those strong mid lane mages here. Lady Zhen is one, and also another long range, potentially something like the Guardian Mo. So it allows the Woodland Ranger on the hands of Siri to be playing in a more comfortable zone.
Let's see what's gonna happen in there. Like Consort U, it's not a bad hero. I don't want people at home just to think that I am just trying to just troll. It's just a matter of like understanding that different patches, you need to have different options. I know that it might be just like Siri's comfort pick, but if it is not working right now, then we need to adapt. But well, I'm not gonna keep talking about that. I'm just gonna move forward. Yukio Tachibana is going to be the option that they will have there for Haku, trying to put him on the early game. A very interesting hero that can do a lot, can do different things to what we had tried to do in previous 2 games.
Oh, he's flexing a bit. He's changing it a bit. It's going to be the Wild Rider, which is the Agudo being locked in. This gives BTR a direction to potentially lock in a Halo mid, because you have a lot of these spawns coming in from the Agudo, and that is a Levi being hovered by Lanfeng, which is, I haven't seen this pick in a long while, and they're looking like they're doing it. They're almost locking it in. It's the Ziyao and Levi combination here. I don't know if they're toying us, but it's almost gonna be finalized in a few short moments.
If it is gonna be, there you go. It is a lock. It is a lock. It's gonna be the Levi. Is the Levi over there a lovely hero? Again, a lovely hero, lovely pick. It does not allow any mistakes. Zero mistakes can be done with that Levi, because you do need to have the gold advantage. Due to its mechanics, it is very mobile. It can give a lot of burst damage, but for that, you're gonna have to really have items, and you're really gonna need gold. If you are to die early in the game, that puts you in front of such a steep mountain to climb, though.
And Isaac, this is potentially the first Levi that we have in pro play. I don't think I've ever seen a Levi in 2025 and 2026. I'm not sure about 2024 though. I haven't started casting then, but definitely to see a Levi in pro play is pretty interesting. And based on your points, Levi is historically really weak in the early game, something similar to a Fate. But once he starts getting those items ramping in, that's where he starts to get online. So there is also a specific starting style of Levi, which is to tax the mid lane first wave. He sets his spell one near the wild boars of his own.
That puts us what? 2 minutes of that just cleaning up that gold, and then after those 2 minutes, leaves that mid lane. And leaving that mid lane position not only means that the gold is going to be funneled towards Tranquil, it means that Lanfeng and F1 might start getting even more of a numeric advantage over there on the farm lane.
That's true. So it comes down to how they play the 2v2. Is Lanfeng going to play the mid lane rotation, like how the early usually does? Go for the mid lane start, clear the first wave, rotate towards the clash lane, and get more of these farms. Teleport back to the farm lane, enjoy more farm. Or are they going to funnel more farm into the pockets of Zankyu? So it's a interesting choice that they have to actually see into. But based on the game, based on the minimap that we just saw, it's going to be a funnel Zankyu game in the mid lane.
Let's wait and see. This is gonna be the first Levi we have seen in a while. Did you see that? Tranquil just using the mechanics of the hero to come in. Look at what Agudo is going to start. He has information about the jungling path of Agudo, and then he can already start just mirroring that.
Yeah, getting the information is really important, because you get to tell your team like, hey, Agudo started top side, so he will be clearing all the way to the bottom side here. So Lanfeng, you have to be careful in your early exchanges, especially in that laning phase against Siri.
Oof, being put on the back hill over there, Lanfeng. Sadly for him, just facing that Consort U is gonna be very difficult. Consort U just being that Siri pick, right? It's gotta be a reason why Siri just would like to play that hero right now.
I think it's really coming down to his rank games that he actually performs over. Lampo gets hit by the Gorge Mobilization here. No flash, no parasol, gets first blooded with an easy pickup coming from Haku.
Haku comes in the right moment, capitalizes on that, and that is going to be good news for Nonshin Red Force. This is going to look good. Very early first blood for them. Very early advantage.
I think it's a very fatal mistake as well, because knowing for the fact that the enemy, you already know the vision is coming down from top side all the way to bottom side, so being caught by that means that you're not respecting the information given over by Zankyu.
Exactly. Like, you received the information, because I'm completely sure that on the comms, like, Tranquil is just letting people know about this. But you receive the information, decide not to act on it. That is a mistake.
It's like you're not locked in enough, you know. But mistakes tend to happen. Not pro play is all even. F1 has a leaping savior away towards safety here, almost getting caught by the bombard of spell CC chains coming in from Nongshim's side. So right now, in terms of the mid 3v3, the priority and the bottom side, it looks to be pretty Nongshim favorite, almost amounting to a 1,000 goalie in this early mark.
And that 3v3 over there just leaves us up there with a 1-against-1 between Bao and Rattel, right? The Fatiha against the Dharma. When you put those two heroes in front of each other, who do you think has a bit of an advantage in terms of mechanics?
In terms of mechanics, I would want to say the easy way of the easiness in terms of like the execution that we talk about, the level of mistakes that you can actually do. Actually, it's much more favored towards Nongshim Red Force. Team fights are easy, good pokes coming in from the side of Illusion and also Siri. Zankyo has gonna be a hard time to capitalize on Siri because Siri has a free physical immunity from that spell too.
Exactly. So Siri can actually just sustain a lot in these matchups, right? Like in these matchups, the Siri on that console unit can sustain a lot. It's gonna depend a lot on Gen Myth coming in and trying to deal some of that magical damage.
Yeah, and Gen Myth is historically playing a Sure, which doesn't really take that much gold. Unless you say that, okay, Gen Myth landing the perfect Silk Weave on towards the side of Siri, pulling him all the way into the arms of BTR, then that's going to be a good play. But realistically, is it going to be possible? That's going to be really hard.
Exactly. It is going to be extremely difficult for them to be able to do and execute all this on pair. It's going to be really hard.
And right now, with the 4-minute timer being unlocked for the side of both teams here, Zankyo potentially looking for a steal. Unbridled Outburst catches on towards the side of Nongshim Red Force. Gets the smite angle for the side of Zankyo, but gets punished immediately. Unable to blink back off that spell 1. Losing 2, but winning the Tyrant. Is that what you want, Biggest Robot Vitality?
Bigatron by Vitality right now opening the doors for the Nongshim Red Force comeback. It's gonna be so tragic right now for Bigatron by Vitality. They do not have any control over the map right now. And we've talked about the fact that Zankyo on that Lipai needed to have a little bit more favorable environment for him to develop. And if he does not have that, right now Nongshim Red Force is completely in control of the match.
It's not looking good, I would say, because as a Levi, losing your Azure, losing your Crimson, losing your farming tempo sets you really back as a jungle assassin pick. You need to be always on form, always looking for farm. That's how you flourish as jungle assassin. But right now, 5 minutes into the game, 2,000, 3,000 gold lead for the side of Nongshim Red Force. Things are looking really difficult for Biggest Robot Vitality.
Let's look at the goal difference right over there. The goal difference starts just showing up in the very specific heroes, right? Like over there, Hakon Rattel
goes in, gets the true mantra all towards Siri here. Siri flashes away towards safety here. So that's a kill negated coming in for the side of Zankyo. He gets the ultimate on towards Siri. The refresh is so real. Rambo also gets the isolation kill on Hakon here. Rattel going 1v4. Ham gets the first kill on towards Lampo as a trade. Everybody has to back up, but landing the Silky input on towards Rattel. That doesn't have the flash. Does Bao get the finalization? He doesn't. That's the ending goal. 1-4-2 in favor of Bigatron.
The reach was not enough. Right over there. Did you see how Rattel on that fatigue just stood on business, and as he was leaving back, wow, without the flash in there, it was unable to actually get that.
Zankyo has to force the back, the spell 1 to reach the super splash into the original position. He's pretty low. I don't think he can actually contest for this Azure Golem.
No, come on, like he cannot actually go for that. He understands. He understands that these decisions in here would actually just be the end of the game. The game is not going really well. Look at that 2v1.
Going in for a 1v1 play with Bao coming in towards assistance here, getting that 2v1 kill. Yeah, pretty good pickoff here, and they immediately rotate towards that mid lane for a breath of fresh air. Right now, if you keep giving Lamphone kills, it's really beneficial in easing BTR stress. And you can see, they're moving across the map, they're going for a bit of a bait play. While this is all happening, look at topside. Zankyo stealing the Crimson Golem for his own deal.
He knows what to do. He knows exactly what he needs to do when he's playing that Lipai. He doesn't need to be participating in the fights right now. At this moment, he does not have a big advantage. Participating in the fights right now is going to put him in a very vulnerable position like this. Look at that.
The mantra finding onto Namu, but Namu gets a charge out to a safety here. A pretty tanky target, not enough DPS to actually take him down. But while all this is happening, Zankyu is having a free time, farming the top side, getting those minions here, getting those towers, recovering from that early loss.
Oh, that's the Silk Imprint comes in.
Wow, forces the flash away from Illusion here. Very good play coming in from Genmith. Zankyu forces the position, gets the tower here, but blinks back into Namu here. Namu looking for the engage, charges in, Raging Sea, lands onto no one here. Zankyu gets caught by the Dread. Second ulti coming in from Illusion. Very big play here. Siri uses the spell too, finds the physical immunity, assassinates Landfall, and Bao wanting to find the cleanup kill, but unable to get it. That's a 3-for-1 in favor for the side of Nongshim Red Force.
What looked like a good initiation by Bigatron by Vitality turned out into a nightmare. Nongshim Red Force is able to turn this into what was a 0-1 into a 3-1 trade in their favor. Amazing performance there, and right now the Tyrant is gonna go in the bag, and it's gonna be Haku the one that is going to take it into his pocket.
And more towers are being torn down from the BTR base here. Tier 3 on the bottom side, removed from the map. And fortunately, this Crimson Golem is going into the pockets of Zankyu. That's still a fortunate news coming in from IKL's fan. But Nongshim Red Force fans, this is the Nongshim you want to see. Where were they in Game 1 and Game 2?
Exactly what I was going to talk about, man. Like, can you imagine that most likely after that second game, they just went in and they were like, you know what? This is not the way that we need to be playing this 2026. This is the redemption arc, man. I'm telling you, Nongshim Red Force, they need to really get in line.
Nice engage on towards Genmith here. Genmith immediately falls. No flash, no mobility. Has to give up his life. Unbridled Outburst for the disengage. Everybody needs to back off F1. Leaping Savior, but there is nowhere you can leave towards safety here. 2 back-to-back kills in the pockets of Nongshim Red Force. They are online.
BTR right now, they know that they cannot take on those fights, and they send Bao into a very common strategy in order to slow down the game. The split and push, let's just try to take control over the waves, slow our opponents down. It's
really a domino effect, right? You pick the Levi, you pick a non-long range mage against Seri on that Woodland Ranger. It really gives you so little chance. And look at Genmith, every single position being clocked out by the Nongshim Red Force members here. Bao finds a perfect initiation on Siri here. Siri being caught by multiple members here, gets taken out by BTR and Zankyu. Looking to limp away. One more hit. Spell 2 flash by Namu to seal off the deal. 1-for-1 so far, but Illusion has also been taken down. Bao looking for more of these plays, but the slashes coming in by Rattle is looking really solid. So both teams, they back off, but it's looking good for BTR. At the very least, they take 2 with them.
They take 2, it's going to slow down this whole process, but it's not enough to turn things around. Look at that one more time, Sagi.
Yeah, Bao finds the truth on towards 2, but it's too low to even go in. The ball drops in, gets Haku, but forces the trade. Ratel takes the Unbridled Outburst towards the face, has to use the ultimate as a cleansing effect. Now we're back to a 4v4, but with BTR's jungle alive, they have the slight advantage for the next 20 seconds.
Oh. Right now, in this moment, I start fearing for Nongshim Red Force a tiny little bit, Sagi. I am not very confident about what they're doing right now, because it looks like slowly Bigatron is coming back. Look at that. F1 is going to be traded down. It's going to be chased down. A 3 against 1. He did not have his ulti to save him out of that position.
Can't really say the same for side of F1 though. He was finding himself in a particular situation, dropping a kill towards the side of Nongshim Red Force without the ultimate being channeled here. But BTR do get themselves a trade-off here, but still losing out a 4,000 gold deficit into the hands of Nongshim Red Force. And their composition traditionally doesn't do the greatest against Nongshim Red Force. You have Physical Assassin into Seri. You will definitely need Ball to find a monstrous engage like just now.
They need to really slow down. Like, they need to take the tempo down a tiny little bit they need to just take 2 steps back and start breathing, man, because right now I start seeing a lot of mistakes. There are a lot of movements in here, decisions that should not be taken. And these mistakes are going to start turning the game into the chaos that we're seeing right now. I don't see a very stable. Yeah, I don't see a very stable game plan for either of the 2 teams right now.
It's very volatile. Like, imagine launching Red Force lead that big in the early game, but they still managed to be forced a trade with BTR into a Shadow Overlord and Tyrant trade. So for BTR, the uncomfiness always comes in the form of the team fights here. It always requires Baal or Gemnif to land a miracle engage. If not, it's gonna be pretty tough. But ZanQ getting thrown a multi-field level of spells. Forward mobilization. Wings of Freedom catches him with the damage, and Ratel comes in, catches on towards 2, already a double kill. Baal has to force the flash. Lampo wants to go in with the assassination here, but that's 1v4 against multiple members, and you do not want to take that.
There's no winning condition in that engagement right over there. The outbursts come in, but to what goal? Like, there's nothing they could have done right over there. They just need to just move back. If one procs his ulti right over there and right now it goes into cooldown in a situation where they could not actually go into the counter.
But that's the thing. Yes, Nongshin Red Force won the fight, but look at the side lanes. The Vanguards, the Overlords just chomping down these side lane turrets, and Nongshin Red Force, sure, you get 2 kills, but you can't push on the lead like before.
It is difficult right now. Look at that, 14 minutes. What we keep seeing is Nongshin Red Force keeps continuing with that same advantage. A 4,000, right now it's going to start expanding into a 5,000 gold advantage, but they don't seem to be able to capitalize out of it. They have the gold advantage, but they don't seem to be able just to make the succession of decisions to finish the game. Because if it is 14-30, and if we keep pushing back, we might make it to a moment where it's gonna be better for Bigatron by time.
Ooh, Raging Sea misses on towards ZanQ here, so that's gonna be a key spell being on cooldown later on for that objective here. Baal cleaning up the top wave first, preparing for that objective here, but ZanQ blinking back into multiple members here, uses the slashes on towards the members here. Unbridled Outburst goes wide, hits onto no one.
Right now we can see it's 5 seconds away from the next objective. Is going to be the Dark Tyrant. The Dark Tyrant fight right over here. We can see the ultimates are available, but F1 just uses his Unbridled Outburst, and that's going to be tough for him because he's not going to have it available for this fight.
Oh, nice Mantra on towards Illusion here. Illusion gets to press the Splendor at the final moment, flashes away towards safety here. But the first to fall will be Namu and also ZanQ here. Now it's a 4v4. Lambo going towards backline here, trying to get the assassination on towards Haku here. The Woodland Ranger has the spell to immunity to cut off any pursuit coming in from the side of BTR. 4v4 objectives being soloed by the side of Lanfeng in that Tyrant.
BTR right now makes it a 2-1. They lose Illusion, they lose Namu-san, and right now Ratel is being on trouble.
Oh, he almost got it! Guilty with the flash, gets away to a safety, 2% turning tide.
It was just minimal pixel levels of HP right over there, and it's able to run away. Turning tides in there, you thought you got me, but you did not indeed.
Wow, that's gonna be a painful one coming in for the side of Nongshin Red Force. Ratel, that's too aggressive. You don't need to do that.
Not when you are winning by that much. What was a 5,000 gold advantage right now is narrowing into only 3,000. And if we keep going with this same trend, it is right now Bigatron, the ones that they have the minion wave advantage, knocking on the doors of the high ground of Nongshin Red Force.
All the lead that has been accumulated thus far coming in by the side of Nongshin Red Force, it's almost equal right now. 17 minutes, 2,000 gold lead. That's almost to nothing.
Yes,
oh, ZanQ falls.
ZanQ gone, just like that. It is just a very big problem right now for Bigatron. Zankyu just cannot keep falling. It's already his 6th death of the match.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Zankyu on that Levi here. So Lyricist, maybe it's a test and experiment pick coming in from BTR, but we see the positioning coming in for the side of Bigatron for Vitality, trading sides, half map for the side of Nongshin Red Force, securing that Overlord and also the top wave. So for next 2 minutes, waves are going to be empowered coming in for the Nongshin lineup.
2 more minutes, that's going to be for Nongshin Red Force, and then after that, we're going to have the Tempest Dragon over there. So, can Bigatron by Vitality force it to the 20-minute mark right now? It is looking extremely difficult for them as the Vanguard starts spawning in.
All 3 waves. Zankyu is coming to the bottom side, but look at the amount of people that's chasing him behind him.
He's really got a target on his back, man. Like, there's nothing that he can do. And right now, the Illusions Garuda is gonna be the best option right over here. Look at that, he procs the ulti, and everyone needs to move back.
Yeah, no spell 2 coming in from Siri here. That's gonna be on an 8-second cooldown in this 18-minute mark. So it really comes down to whoever finds the perfect engage. Nice slashes coming in by the side of Zankyu, getting a bit of poke on towards Haku here, but doesn't really do too much. The Flickering Fury as of this point here. Lanfeng, let's get a bit of poke. Right now, Vanguards are marching in towards the high ground.
The Illusion one more time, he ulti. It's not enough. Right now, BTR is able to defend the 2 waves of Vanguards, and they're going to push us to the 20-minute Tempest Dragon.
We're looking at the Tempest Dragon. I think this is our first one of the day here, Isaac. Our very first Tempest Dragon in PRS4 in 2026.
Well, and when we think about this Tempest Dragon fight, I do believe that BTR might have an advantage over there due to their composition in terms of the mobility that they could have in order to try to steal the Tempest Dragon. So unless that Nongshin Red Force has a very good opening to try to initiate on that dragon, I don't think that they should